From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Coming up next is Live at 5 on WCTE PBS and its streaming platforms to provide updates on communities throughout Central Tennessee.
Hello, Mr. Jackson. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you today, Ms. Hudson?
I'm so fine. So thank you so much for joining us. I wanted to invite you to Live at 5 because I recently heard from Bryce McDonald, who's our board of trustee, that there was Upper Cumberland Diversity Advocates in Cumberland County.
Correct.
Well, tell me a little bit about it.
Well, the Upper Cumberland County Diversity Organization derived from, actually started with John MacArthur and the Fairfield Glade Community Church, thinking in terms of celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King celebration. And during that time, he discovered that in the previous years, we had a small organization that did the same thing. When that group, which consisted of my wife and several others, got together with their group, we formed the Upper Cumberland Diversity Group because we had a strong similar interest in mind. And that was when we formed the Upper Cumberland Diversity Advocates Group. Now, this group, we felt that was so important, and with all the thoughts and the process that we had in mind, we felt that we should be incorporated. So therefore, the group was incorporated in March of 2021, and for the state of Tennessee as a nonprofit organization. And it states, just like our mission says, it's all about exclusively for nonpartisan education, charitable, and public benefit for the public. And that's the reason why we established this as a cooperation with the state of Tennessee.
So is it a monthly meeting, weekly meeting? Is there membership dues to be a part of this great diversity group?
Yes, it is. Along with our charter and our bylaws that we have presently, we have 65 members, and our members meet every other month. Our board of directors, we have board of directors, which is 9 board of directors as stated in our bylaws. And we meet every month in order to cover things prior to presenting. The dues for membership involved with this is $15 for individual and $25 for a family. And out of those dues, we sponsor the things that are avenues of how we communicate to the public about the organization. And we do that in several ways. Would you like to hear about the ways that we do those?
I would love to hear more about it. I find this very important to not only Cumberland County, but Putnam County and surrounding counties. So please do.
Yes, not only Cumberland County, but we have members in out in Tansy and in area as well as Cumberland County. We use the local newspaper for one of our ways as tools of connecting with the county and members. We have monthly newspapers where we talk about diversity. We have topics that range from a Jewish community, and I have articles about that. We have articles concerning immigrants moving to Crossville area, the reason why. We sponsor and promote one of our largest deal is our multicultural celebration. And that was very big because it was an opportunity for us to show the community that there are multicultural areas that we need to respect, that we need to encourage, and how they contribute to this culture. Knowing Crossfield and the upper area, you know that our population, of course, here is based on the statistics about 4.5 of white. And we have another statistic based on Hispanic of a 2.34, and of course the African Americans 1.9. So we wanted to give and show that all of these cultures have something to contribute to our growth and to our well-being and equality in our society.
How do they go about doing that, Mr. Jackson? How do you get them engaged and then them share the value that they are to our communities and the importance of the diversity and what they can bring?
We go by that by a number of ways. Number one, when we have our regular meetings, after we go through our business process, we have a representation of a speaker that come in and talk to us concerning their interests and their desires. Just recently, we had Steve Savage, of course, with NAACP come in to talk with us. We also have a board member, which is Gordon Norton, who is a Jewish person that gives us background and information concerning the Jewish population. We have different people that give us information concerning their motivation and their skills of creating diversity through our upcoming speaker of photography and how diversity fits into photography. One big thing that we had in the celebration with a number of people of coming out was the theme of love and understanding and being able to reach out and touch someone to help them understand what's taking place in order to grow. And that's why we felt it was so important for us to be totally organized and not to just say this is a fly-by-night organization. That's why we wanted to become certified as a nonprofit organization and a nonpartisan organization to make sure that's taking place, as well as reaching out and working with the youth as well. Also, we speak in terms of Speaking Foundation, and an opportunity that I have with you today to pass on the information, as well as with other radio stations and TV stations. Our founder, John MacArthur, who came from Maryville, had the opportunity of working with the Martin Luther King celebration back there. And he and I have had the opportunity to present this presentation to other groups, and we plan to continue doing so. Another way we plan to do it is have an interfaith type service where we talk in terms of talking to the different religions involved with it and bringing in other things such as the LGBTQ plus group, as well as Hispanics, as well as we know of the Asian groups, and bringing all those cultures together so we can learn and grow from that and be able to pass those on.
That sounds wonderful. Now, I noticed in your mission statement, it talked about interested in educating and celebrating. You talked a little bit about that. How do you advocate for diversity and equality?
By them knowing exactly what's taking place, by having their presentation and their presence in our group, or letting them know that we are all in this boat together and that we should learn how to understand their culture, understand their world beings. For instance, our largest event that we had back in August of last year, August the 28th, and we also special again, we had with us the Native Americans. We had the Chief Cox that was with us. And, you know, I could show you, which I have pictures of the incidents of the celebration that had, and it was wonderful. He was able to give us background about that. We had the Caribbean dance group from Tennessee Tech that was with us. We had from the people from Hawaiian. We had speakers from the Spanish organization, and we had wonderful music coordination from Terry Henderson, who's the local African-American speaker, to give us information and more information about that. So besides our newspaper articles that we had all of these activities taking place with that, and we plan to grow it more because we recognize even today with the Asian having a large problems in our society, we want to let people know who they are, what they are, and what we all stand for in order to grow.
So do you help employers in the area and surrounding counties, or is that possible if they wanted you to come in and make a presentation, maybe in person? It could be in Zoom. Hopefully we're getting to be more in person these days, to share about your mission, to share about diversity, or how do you work with the employers, or do you at all?
We welcome the opportunity to come in and speak to an organization or to any group. At the same time, we're very fortunate we have our librarian who allowed us to put up displays into the library that they have theme, the Black History Month theme, or themes concerning the Native Americans. The Native Americans, we had a large newspaper article that was written by John, and We have articles of the Black History Month, but we also have spoken to the college concerning this as well. The Rome State have had people that are very interested in that, and we have been able to do that as well.
Do you see yourself maybe reaching out to Tennessee Tech University and see if that's a possibility, since Roan Community College really embraced that?
Rome State really embrace that, and they have us on their speakers bureau list that we speak to.
Oh, I am just so excited about this. So on the mission statement, and I love this part, we're a group of neighbors just like you. How do you think that we're doing? Do you think we're making progress? What could we do more of?
We're making progress, but we still have a long way to go. And I think as we are open-minded, and we have taken suggestions for a lot of people that have joined us who feel the same way, that are able to give us ideas and suggestions how we can grow. And that's what it's really all about. And I think we have to stick with the program in order to show that we're all about growth of equity in our society.
I agree 110%. I'm so excited about this. So now tell me again, when do you meet? In the evenings, during the day?
We meet on Thursday evening at 5 o'clock in one of the rooms at the Cumberland County Library. We meet at 5 o'clock, and we try to be out of there within an hour, hour and a half, depending on the business that we have and the presentation that's going on that evening.
Now, I understand you have a slate of officers and you are president-elect. When do you take the position of president?
July the 1st, I take the position as president, but it's been very interesting because John and I have really been carrying on dual roles. John MacArthur, who's the president, is just getting started. And we think it's important that we all work together and grow together.
Which is what diversity, equity, and inclusion is all about.
That's what it's all about, yes.
Oh, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you joining us here at Live at 5. And maybe soon we can meet in person and you could come back and talk to us more about how you've advanced and grown.
We love that, to do that very much.
Thank you again.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Welcome to your February PBS Passport Update. I'm Josh Deepin with WCTE PBS. In honor of Black History Month and our nation's presidents, we at WCTE PBS wanted to give a shout out to the critically acclaimed programming PBS has to offer. And what better way to do that than by exploring the added membership benefit of PBS Passport. For all the foodies out there, PBS Passport has you covered with the acclaimed series No Passport Required. Join renowned chef Marcus Samuelsson as he treks across America to uncover the culinary ingenuity from a variety of backgrounds. The show is only on PBS Passport, which you can access through your WCTE PBS membership. If you're looking for a scripted series to sink your teeth into, Atlantic Crossing tells the story of a secret relationship between President Franklin D. Roosevelt and Norwegian Princess Martha. In Their Own Words explores the life of Jimmy Carter, from working as a poor rural peanut farmer to becoming the 39th President of the United States. If you're still looking for something to binge after brushing up on American history, every single episode of the critically acclaimed series Downton Abbey and Broadchurch is available for streaming on PBS Passport. No other streaming service offers both of these shows at no additional cost, so with PBS Passport, you can immerse yourself in the world of British drama at the click of a button. And lastly, for that special someone or for that treat-yourself meal you've been wanting to get around to cooking, take a look at The French Chef with Julia Child. With PBS Passport, you can watch over 20 of Julia Child's most famous recipes. If you are interested in becoming a member of WCTE PBS to have access to the added benefit of Passport, you can find all the information you need by going to wcte.org/passport or by scanning the QR code below with your smart device. Right now, you can access all the shows I mentioned and much more anytime, anywhere, on the web or on the WCTE PBS video app. That concludes our Passport Update. I'm Josh Deepin, happy streaming, and see you next time.
Good evening. I'm Lindsay Pride, editor of the Herald-Citizen, with your story of the week. The Putnam County Commission is working with 2 different governments to bring water and sewer projects to the Upper Cumberland region. This week, commissioners approved a joint agreement with Jackson County to extend water lines to homes in the Martin Creek area who don't have access to public water, and they approved a similar agreement with the city of Baxter to help them address water infiltration into the town's aging sewer lines. Putnam County Mayor Randy Porter said the money for those projects will not come from county funds, but from the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, which is providing nearly $4.9 million in grants. The county mayor said that these are non-competitive grants, so the county doesn't have to compete with other governments to get them. If the county partners with another government like Jackson County, only 10% matching funds are required, and the state pays 90%. Porter said they hope to construct a 6-inch water line along Martin Creek Road using $1.8 million of the $4.9 million available, and the next step is to hire an engineer to design the project. Hundreds of Putnam County residents don't have access to public water, and the Martin Creek area is one of the highest need areas for public water, along with the eastern end of the county in the Brotherton Mountain and Calfkiller areas. Commissioners also agreed to use $1.3 million of the TDEC funding to assist Baxter in making sewer repairs, and the Baxter will pay 10% of required matching funds. In addition to improvements in water and sewer, the state is contributing $400 million through grants to internet providers to expand high-speed internet across Tennessee. The county mayor said the state is set to pay 70% or more of any approved project. About 40% of Putnam residents don't have access to high-speed internet. To read more about this story, visit our website at herald-citizen.com or pick up a copy of our Wednesday print edition. Thank you and good night.
Welcome to the Sports Wrap-Up. I'm Noah McKay with the Upper Cumberland Reporter. Let's take a look at the sports landscape. The Tennessee Tech men's and women's basketball teams will round out the regular season this week with 2 doubleheaders against Tennessee State and UT Martin on Thursday and Saturday. Both sets of matchups will be broadcast on WCTE PBS, with the women's game set to tip off at 5:30. In high school, district champions have been crowned. On the girls' side, Upperman, Clay County, and York each won tournament titles. The Cookeville Lady Cavaliers were stunned by Green Hill 29-28 as they took their first loss of the season. On the boys' side, Clay County, Jackson County, and White County each won their tournaments. Looking ahead to Friday, as region tournaments will begin, White County will host top-ranked Page in a girls' matchup. That game will be streamed live on the UCR Facebook page with tip-off set for 7 p.m. That was the Sports Wrap-Up. I'm Noah McKay. Have a great day.
So it's Rick Ward with First Horizon Bank. Hi, Rick.
Hello, Donna.
So I understand you have been with First Horizon Bank for how many years?
I have been with First Horizon since 2009, have been here in Cookeville the whole time. It's been a great bank to work for. We have grown over the last several years, but we are honored to participate in this call today. We have a long, rich history with WCTE TV, and so thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope this information provided today is beneficial to the viewers.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. And we do have a relationship with you as well as others, and it's been positive for us as well. So much so that I knew that you were the right person to reach out to ask some questions. Now, what is your role at First Horizon?
My role, Donna, is market leadership for the 3 branches in this area. We have 2 Cookeville branches and also 1 in Sparta. So I'm enjoying this new role. Prior to that, I was in commercial lending. And in 2009, when I started with the bank, I was in a credit role.
Oh, so you know what it is to look at rates, and the Federal Reserve may reduce the rates or increase the rates, which is what I wanted to speak to you about today. So there's a lot of buzz that the interest rates are going to go up in the near future. Can you tell me a little bit about your thoughts on that, and what are the indicators, and when we might expect this?
Sure, I'll be glad to. Recently, I participated in a seminar with our senior economist in New York, and they were very insightful, just offering their viewpoint on what interest rates will do over the next couple of years. From all indication, it looks like, Donna, that 2 to 3 times in 2022 and 2 to 3 times in 2023, at a minimum, rates will go up.
So for any of those that are out there right now, we've had this booming housing market. We've seen 20+% in increase in the housing. If they have not went ahead and secured their home mortgage loan, is the door closing? Has it closed? Because I know it takes some time to secure a loan.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point, and probably the quicker that someone could lock into a fixed rate, that would be advisable. The Federal Reserve is the one that raises interest rates, and it's anticipated in March that rates will go up by at least 1/4 and possibly 0.5%. The Federal Open Market Committee is a branch of the Federal Reserve that meets 8 times throughout the year. So they will meet, their first meeting this year in March. They'll meet 7 more times, and then 8 times again every year after that.
So you think that globally, once these rates start to increase, that is going to impact those areas that we've had the challenge here lately, correct?
That was the word that we got, Donna, that is that in the second half of 2022, that those supply numbers the overall shipping numbers could get better. Now, that's not written in stone, but a very interesting few things have occurred over the last couple of years, not just in our country, but other countries, of course, have had spikes in COVID over the last couple of years. Manufacturing plants have been closed. They've not been able to hire employees due to spikes, just like we have. So those ports that normally experience a high level of consistent shipping of goods, those ports have been delayed. You've probably seen it on the news. It's just been a really crunch on supply. So it is expected that in the second half of this year, those numbers will look better. Another industry that's been adversely affected has been the trucking industry. And the reason for that, a certain amount of testing, licensing has to occur with the truckers. That stopped. That actually, as a lot of other things, just came to a stop during the pandemic. So that industry was set back, and that was impacted as well. So to answer your initial question, the overall shipping numbers, they hopefully will look better in the second half of this year. But once again, it continues to be an ongoing challenge.
Yeah, we're just not sure where we're going to land in this, but we certainly understand why action is being taken. Whether we agree with it or not, it is the direction in which we appear to be moving. So since you mentioned the pandemic, let me ask you, you talked about employers having to shut down. Tell me what do you feel are some long lasting effects from the pandemic that are still being felt related to the overall workforce here in the Upper Cumberland area or the United States?
I think the main thing that has been felt occurred in 2 different sectors of the population. That was number one, the over 55 sector of the population. A lot of that population decided not to go back to work and either decided to retire, work off savings, or do something at home work related. That was one segment that is expected will not return back to the pre-pandemic level of February of 2020. And the other sector is that young people with children have not returned to the workforce as well. So those are long-lasting effects. It makes hiring in the Upper Cumberland region more challenging when the employment pool has shrunk in effect. So that will continue to be a challenge for employers throughout the Upper Cumberland as we continue on.
I think as I speak to my community peers, that I'm not sure that any company has not experienced exactly what you're talking about. And it is offering candidates positions within the company and then retaining them because there's so many opportunities out there. Let's be fair, that there's a lot of opportunity because there's a lot of positions open in the Upper Cumberland area. So that'll be interesting to see when that may level off, I guess you would say, because this has been, gosh, in human resources, it always was a challenge, I think somewhat, but it really has been since the pandemic. And so you're not expecting that level to come back up anytime soon. You think that's still going to take a little while because of young families and those that might have been in a position to retire? Those are the two big areas.
Yeah, I think that's the anticipation, is that those two sectors probably will not return to the pre-pandemic level. The good news, though, is that of the remaining workforce, the current unemployment rate is about 4%. And actually, that is where the Fed would like to see the unemployment rate is around 4%. So of that remaining pool, a high percentage of the population is employed.
Yeah, because I can remember at times getting reports that it was 6, if not higher. So to be back in the 4%, that's great to be at. So I don't know if you have your crystal ball in your office or not, and then maybe there's no way that anyone could answer this question, but I guess in the back of our mind, we're all saying, hey, how long will it take to get inflation under control? Does anyone have the answer? But if not, walk us through the process. When will we feel some relief? Because that's what we're looking for in these days and times. When will we feel a little bit of relief, whether it's at the grocery store? Now it may be gasoline for our vehicles. What can we expect?
Yeah, I think that a big positive right now that I know a lot of our the viewers today and you have also seen is the cases have gone down, and that's great. It's to see us slowly pulling out of the pandemic is something that we're all excited about. Obviously, there have been several variants that have come out since the initial COVID strain. And like you say, a crystal ball, unfortunately, is something that we don't have. So we don't really know what the future holds. However, I'm optimistic that within the next year, maybe year and a half, we'll start to see inflation go down significantly. And I think that's the realistic hope as well of the folks in the economy area.
It's something has to change right now. We need to kind of do a little bit of recovery and move in a different direction, and change is always tough, but I think it is time. I heard the term this morning as I was sharing with you earlier that we're now at the part of in pandemic. So, numbers are beginning to look good. Everyone is returning to the office if they ever fully left the office. There may have been a short time, but many employers stayed open during this challenging time. And it was just a need that had to be filled. But I think we're turning a corner, don't you, Rick?
I do, Donna. I really do. And so we all are optimistic about the future, and just we will just think those positive thoughts. Absolutely.
That's it. I agree with you. We're going to think positive thoughts. And if they have any questions that they'd like to ask you about, you said you could be reached at First Horizon Bank, which is on the corner of Jefferson.
We are right next to the Kroger on Jefferson, 345 South Jefferson, and would love the opportunity to speak with anyone.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today about an area that's a little uncertain for us right now, but we know we're moving in this direction, and what should we do now? And I think you answered a lot of those questions, and it was so nice to talk to you. Thank you again, Rick.
Well, once again, it was an honor and my pleasure, Donna, and thank you so much for having me on your program.
From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Join us back for the encore on Sunday at noon. A brand new show of Live at 5 will return at 5 p.m. next Thursday. Thank you for watching.